So I read in the news that the Invisible Man turned down a high-paying corporate job offer because he just couldn't see himself working there. Luckily, it wasn't the Invisible Woman. She probably would have hit a glass ceiling. Think about it.
Yeah.
I was speaking to someone the other day, and they said, "What rhymes with orange?" And I said, "No, it doesn't." Have you heard there's an evil group of men who control all of the world's cheese? It's the Illuminati.
Oh, God's sake.
There you go. That almost works. I was speaking to a vicar recently. I said, "This must be an old church vicar," and he went, "It's Norman." I said, "This must be an old church, Norman." I'll leave it there.
Oh,
I think
my God.
Just the penny drops in everyone. Yeah. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to a disappointing opening to Black Dog 265. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
And we don't have Elton this week because he's off doing stuff. He's off doing stuff for him. He's away. He's not here. He has gone to join the Choir Invisible. No. No. So there's no Elton. So we will be having a threesome this week. But anyway, we will see how everyone's week's been. Fortnight, in fact. And then we will be seeing if there's any feedback for the last week's episode. And then after that, we will move on to this week's movie, which is your pick, Darren, which was?
The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man, one of the lesser-known songs in the Queen catalogue. And, yeah, but we'll get to that soon enough. So let's just see how everyone's week's been. So we'll start, as ever, with you, Jim. How's it been, sir?
Not too bad. We kind of seem to have gone back to either late winter or early autumn. I'm not sure which. Which is kind of a bit of seasonal whiplash. We're kind of like, oh, I was all ready for summer, but now, get the jumpers out again and the heavy waterproof trousers.
Yeah.
It seems to have nothing but rain here, but not all the time, but just randomly and viciously when it does. But that's the English summer for you, is it not? I don't know why we expect any difference.
Yeah.
So I was actually quite pleased and surprised because kind of it was my job to do to be executor of my mum's will.
Oh yeah,
which meant I had to apply for probate, and that was when they said, "Oh God, I don't want to do this."
Yeah.
And I'm actually pleased to report it's actually very, very easy these days. You can do it all online for a start. And I mean, my mum didn't have a hugely complicated estate anyway, but basically you can look online; it'll tell you everything you need to do step by step.
Oh,
and I thought, I was sort of getting to that point where I'm going to start putting off doing it. Though now I've got to do this. I said I'd do this because because my sister's co-executor, but in her own words, she's shit with money and numbers. You do it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so there you go. So so I thought, all right, I saw you could do it online, and I thought, well, okay, I'll have a go online because I know it said you don't have to do it all at once. You can sort of save your progress and go back, and you know what I mean. It's all just stays on the computer. It doesn't go anywhere until you're finished and click submit, and it saves it all so you can come back at a later date. So I thought, well, I'll just have a I'll sit down, just go through, see what the questions are, and make sure I've got everything they need, and so just so I know what I'm doing, have a trial run, and I ended up actually doing it, and like 15 minutes later, it was done. Bash!
Oh, nice,
done. And I mentioned this because the information online is very good to help you do it.
Yeah,
but as it is, to get a grant of progress will cost you a minimum of £300. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, a lot of people think, oh, probate, scary legal stuff, I'll get a solicitor, which will easily double that price.
Oh, shit. Yes.
So this is why I brought up. So say, if you're in the situation where you're you have to do the probate thing, do look into giving it a go yourself, because for most people, unless your deceased loved one was operating some sort of the laundry style web of shell companies, most people should be able to do the value of the estate quite easily. And you just bang, bish bash bosh, do it online, do it yourself, and save yourself a few £100, not paying a solicitor, not to mention several weeks pissing around getting a solicitor to do it in the first place. Which is the other sort of big time stuff. And even better, I mean, because you have to send off some documents, like you have to send off the original will, and they actually keep it. It goes into the public archive and stuff. And you have to send it sort of, tracked signature post. And so I sent it. I did send it last Wednesday. Monday morning, I got an email saying we received your documents and we will start, processing your application. This may take 8 to 12 weeks. I thought, okay, fair enough. I knew that going into this. Fair dues. Half an hour later, I got another email, and I thought, oh, it's them again. And now, if you ever dealt with government agencies and the like, they're a bugger for sending the same email twice and the same letter twice. So, oh, here we go. I've got another one saying exactly the same thing. And that's what I did open it, and it went, yes, your application for it has been approved. We're sending you the documents in return post. You should have them in 2 to 3 days. I was like, fuck me, really?
Wow. Okay.
Done and dusted in under a week. Bingo.
Nice.
Something actually works in this country very effectively. Thank you so much. So that was a rare win for bureaucracy.
Wow.
And so really, the information on was very good. Really took the sting out of it, because it's not a fun job to do, and all legalese stuff can be very can be some things can be very unhelpful. Put it that way.
Yes.
And you always feel like they're asking you trick questions.
Yes.
In fact, sometimes they do ask trick questions. I mean, I remember years ago, it's changed now, but if you apply for income support, you got like a 45-page booklet to fill in.
Right.
And halfway through, there's a question said, "Are you blind?" Are you trying to catch people out here? And that 3/4 of it, do you sit on are you a board of director for any major companies? And it's kind of, come on, stop trying to catch people out. Who's going to tick yes, dickhead?
Yes.
You
It's
know what I
me.
mean?
It's me, Stevie Wonder, the head of Microsoft.
Fucking hell. Yeah. So that's all. So I'm quite pleased that's all sort of done and dusted, and I can get on and carry on with this sort of charging up for various affairs and sorting things out. And but I was pleased that was so painless, actually, because I've heard nightmare stories about it drags on. And but it's always the way, I think, anything to do with like the tax people, it is kind of, they're made out to be huge bogeymen. And actually, I've always found them actually very helpful, and the websites are very useful doing anything online.
Blimey. Okay.
So, it's kind of, if you have to do it, do look into do it yourself, because, you don't need to be pissed around for 3 weeks chasing a solicitor who will charge you at least £300, if not the best part, for 500 for doing the same bloody thing, and will take weeks to do it because solicitors. Yeah,
because money.
You have to earn this money somehow, and they do it by pissing you around and not doing their job.
Yes. Great.
Allegedly.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was going to say allegedly, apparently, supposedly. According to the second-hand rumor, honest, Gov. Yeah. Anything else, sir?
Well, that's been about it, really. Fairly quiet. Well, but not quiet time. We've had lots of little jobs to do, shall we say? Of that sort of nature. And also just trying to get some podcasts in the bank to have a few weeks off at some point in the future.
A summer holiday, you say?
Well, maybe. And, Mum did leave me a little bit of money to spend. And so it's kind of, right, I can sort out the kitchen. We can get a new cooker. So I'm playing cooker shopping like a grown-up.
Oh, my word.
I'm trying to decide, what kind of hob do I want?
It's The Sims, but in real life.
It is. It is.
Excellent. Okay. Cool. Right. Well, in which case, I'll leave it there and move on to Darren, if that's okay.
Yep, that's all good.
Lovely. Okay. Well, then over to you, Dal. How's your week/fortnight been?
How's my week/fortnight been?
Yeah.
Well, I've been to the cinema a few times.
Well,
Been to the cinema a
bugger
few
me
times.
senseless. Go on in.
Indeed.
Mhm.
We took a little bit of a break, but we seem to have just recently just gone and seen some very some interesting films and
Yes.
some one sort of like
Mhm.
how do I feel about this? I'm not quite sure.
So,
So,
Mandalorian.
no. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of like following a trend that we seem to be looking at films that are made by YouTubers because they've been coming up with some really. I mean, from what I'm gathering now, if you remember, I talked about Obsession a few weeks ago.
Yes.
The actual quality of that film seems more like an accident than it did a planned sort of event.
Really?
Because yeah, people have been reading stuff into this, which is like quite obvious on screen. But the director is like, "What? Really? Oh, because I wrote it about this. You're seeing all this in it, and it's yeah."
Wow.
So I don't know if his next movie. I think this might be. There's a good chance that Obsession is lightning in a bottle for him.
Well,
but,
we'll see, won't we?
We'll see. We give that a go. So anyway, the next film we saw made by a YouTuber is The Backrooms.
Yep.
Based on, well, it started off life as a creepypasta, and then the director, Kane Parsons, came along. He saw this, and it kind of caught his imagination, and he just took the idea of this and extrapolated it and just made this entire lore about this one piece of writing.
He had a whole series of them on.
Well, if you've
YouTube,
seen the YouTube, there's like loads and loads of I think the average time for these films is 15 minutes, but they're all slightly unnerving, the whole lot. And for anybody that doesn't know what the Backrooms is, how can I describe it? I think the explanation in the film is probably the best. Trying to describe the Backrooms is like getting someone to draw a dog who's never seen a dog that you've described a dog to.
Right.
They might be able to get certain things of it right, like the legs and stuff like this, but it just won't seem right.
Yes.
And that's exactly what the Backrooms is. It's like this pocket dimension. I say pocket, It's a pretty fucking big pocket.
Yes.
That is just full of rooms.
Right.
And the story takes place with this guy named by the name of Clark, who runs a furniture store. And one day he basically falls into the Backrooms by accident. He finds it because he hears some noises come from the basement of his store.
Yeah.
So he goes down there and he literally just falls through a wall and ends up, as you do, in the Backrooms.
Right.
And it's just, he starts exploring it and, trying to find out what this place is all about. And he starts trying to tell people about this place and they don't believe him, especially his therapist.
Right.
And it basically goes on from there. I can't tell you much else about it.
No.
Trying to describe it is, it's quite hard anyway. What I will say about the film, while it was good, I wish they'd spent more time in the Backrooms than they did looking at the psychology of Clark.
Okay.
It's like, when you have a film that's supposed to be set in a certain universe.
Yeah.
And on a planet, a fascinating planet with loads and loads of bits and bobs that you really just like, I really want to see this realized. And then they spend 90% of that film on Earth in New York. And it's like
the old Master of the Universe movie.
I was going to say Master of the Universe.
Master of the Universe, the fucking Dark Tower as well. Yeah. I'm sorry, Midworld. Fascinating place, fucking gunslingers as the knights of old, And
fascinating, expensive place, Del.
Yeah, fascinating, expensive place. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good in this film. Trust me on this, and you will be peeling back the layers of the characters and what certain things mean for quite a while. We're still having discussions about it now, what certain things meant in the movie.
Okay.
Like I say, I wish we could have focused a little bit more on the backrooms themselves rather than Clark as a character. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is a fascinating character. He's been through a lot, and when we meet him in the film, he's broken up from his wife, and he is spending his nights sleeping in the store as well as working in it.
Right.
So he's literally his whole world has been, he's where he lived, everything like this has been taken away from him, and this is all he's got is this store.
Right.
So yeah, I wish we'd done a bit more exploration into the backrooms, because it is a fucking scary place. It can be very, very, very creepy in there, and they do it so well in this film. The director, Kane Parsons, who is the guy that did all the extrapolating of the law and stuff like this, he's not really big into doing computer generated effects in films, so everything is practical. They built 30,000 square foot of backrooms. The place was so big, the crew were getting lost in it.
I would just like to refute your he doesn't like doing CGI, because
no, I know he does it for the films there, but it's when he didn't want to do. He really didn't want to go full out, because he could have done the entire rooms as CG.
I was going to say he did them before in Blender.
Yeah, he did that for the films he did on YouTube, but for this, he wanted to go full practical.
He's got a budget.
He got given a budget. It's a very, very interesting film with some very, very interesting sort of subjects being raised in it about mental health and sort of like especially men's mental health in this, and certain attitudes and abusive relationships, and maybe just a little bit of insult culture in there as well.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot to chew over. People will see different things in this film. You'll spot things that other people haven't, vice versa. There'll be people who will spot things that you probably didn't see in it.
Right.
So it's an interesting piece, and I just wonder if they'll ever do a sequel to it. I mean, I think it's made its money back tenfold anyway, and it's still interesting for people who don't really know anything about the backrooms,
right?
As well. Listening to the Mark Commode review of this, he walked in, he didn't know anything about the backrooms at all, but he still found the film fascinating. He wanted to know more about the world, and that is what I will say about it as well. It doesn't give you the answers, this thing. It doesn't tell you what the backrooms is. It doesn't dissect it and break it down so that everybody knows every single aspect of it. You are still wondering where the fuck, what, and it's good. It's that in a good way. It's one of them. It's been a long time since you get a film like this, where you're not given all the answers and you're allowed to make up some stuff as you go along. You're allowed to give your own speculation, and it's good. I enjoy having the conversations about it. It's great. So yeah, it'll be whether you're it'll be whether it is your thing or not. But like I say, there's some good subtext in it, some very interesting subtext. Right. But there you go. Okay. So and now we go to take a bit of a right turn from that, and we go for the Masters of the Universe.
Yay!
Film.
Right. Yep.
Okay. So me and Reba off for a couple of days each. And it's like, well, we've got some time. What do we do? It's like, let's go to cinema. Let's go watch a film. Well, while all the adults are working, and nobody's about. Oh, this feels a bit cheeky, doesn't it? Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
So we went off and saw Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Now, I think this is better than the original. I've got to say that for one basic aspect is it flips the whole thing of here's Eternia. Oh, now we're going to spend 90% of it on Earth. No, this goes the other way.
Yeah.
So you have a very, very small part at the beginning of the film set on Earth, but then it says, right, let's get back to Eternia and have some fun. Okay, let's go and do some He-Man stuff.
Right.
A lot of this is played for laughs. Okay, and there are some extremely cheesy bits in this, in a good way and in a bad way.
Okay.
It's like somebody driving a car for the first time, whereas sometimes they put the accelerator down too much and sometimes they take it off too much. Don't worry. I mean,
topped up with kangaroo petrol, as we used to say.
Yeah.
Kangaroo petrol. Yeah, that's a good one.
And I wish they'd just gone completely for the cheese in this, but they can't seem to make up their mind whether they want it to go serious.
Yeah.
Because when Skeletor first appears, that's all doom and there's violence and people getting killed and stuff like this, and he's very menacing. And then all of a sudden he does a thing and it's like, oh, we've switched on the comedy now. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. I'm just going along with the flow of this at the moment, and I'm taking it as this is a serious version of Skeletor. But no. And in a way, it's kind of, well, that's fine because it's kind of following the Skeletor character. And if you've seen those memes of the until next time,
yes,
it's that kind of Skeletor.
Well, the bit I've seen, because they released like a 5-minute clip, and there is this bit with him and Evil Lyn and this guy who's on his knees, and he goes wee, because he sounds different as well. He doesn't have that wee.
He sounds like Jermaine Clements for most of it.
Well, yes.
Oh, hello there. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just does something like, we will have our final triumph, like this.
Yes, and he holds his hands up and then he stops.
He starts laughing, and it does the Dr. Evil thing of him just laughing and nobody else is laughing, and he goes, that was my crescendo. And it was just
he looks at Evil and he's like, where were you? What? You're supposed to do the thing. I come to this, and you're supposed to do the magic. Doing the lightning, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's such a, for me, it was a bit of a like, oh, so you're going for comedy. Okay. I mean, I've seen some of the comedy we've had up until this point, and again, some bits of it worked. There's quite a bit of it that falls flat. It's like it's a bit too forced. And then it suddenly switches that off. And it takes it in another kind of, that's what it just felt to me like. It was a bit like a waveform, you know. And it's like, so what are you trying to be? Are you trying to be Game of Thrones, or are you trying to be Police Squad? What do you want to do? Can we make up our mind?
Yeah.
And it is a bit like Austin Powers 3, where you think back to some of it, and it's actually funnier thinking back to it than it was at the time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, in particular, sort of like, I won't go into too much detail, but the fate of one character, and it's the line that Skeletor comes out with straight after that. And it's like, at the time, I'm thinking, it just seemed the timing was out with the comedy. And Alison Brie is very good, but she was a little bit too I don't know. I know she's trying to be cheesy, but she was a little bit too cheesy. She was like 11. We needed her to come down to about a 7.
Okay.
And she kind of took me out of the feeling of the movie a couple of times, just by being that. Because I think she thought she was doing something else. I think she got the brief of you've got to be cheesy in this. Yeah. And it's like Jared Leto, who is totally unrecognisable in this, up to a point. No. Hold on. It's great, right? He doesn't sound like Jared Leto when he speaks, but when he laughs, you can hear him dying to do the Joker laugh, right? Of and it's straining. It's like he's always having somebody get there, keeps holding up a sign in front of him. It's like, this isn't the fucking Justice League, you twat. You know, you're not in the you're not in the DCU anymore.
Yeah.
This is He-Man. You've got to laugh differently for this character. And it's just, I mean, maybe that's me because I'm deeply scarred by what I saw in the, Justice League, the original version of it.
Yeah.
But, and I really hated his Joker. Yes. So, I can hear it. I can hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
And I'll agree with one reviewer. Sadly, this is Jared Leto's best role ever, because if you didn't know it was him, you wouldn't know it was him.
No.
That's it.
No.
There's nothing apart from that laugh bit. But that's me because I'm attuned to it. But yeah, you wouldn't have guessed it was him. You'd think it was Jermaine Clements.
Yeah,
doing the voice and that. So I suppose he's one of them sort of characters you can't actually do the original voice because you really would lose. He really would lose all credibility. I think if you had the original voice on the live action version.
No. I mean,
really?
What the rest of it? That's your red line. You got a man in the film called Fisto.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole thing about the naming conventions as well.
Yeah.
Because like Prince Adam hasn't been there since he was born.
Yeah.
Or since he was a little boy. So it becomes apparent that he's made up these names in his head as an association because he didn't know the names of the people. So he's called, and they're all looking at him like, who the fuck's Fisto? And it's just, or Ram Man?
Exactly.
So
I think the time for subtlety's gone with the Masters Universe, isn't it?
Yeah, but then it kind of breaks that by having, people know that Skeletor is called Skeletor and Evil Lyn is called Evil Lyn.
Yeah.
So it's like, make up your mind.
Yeah.
Are we having the silly names or are we not having the silly names?
And if you're going to go for the silly names, go for the whole lot. Just lean into it.
I mean, why? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the guy, I think the guy that did the Skeletor voice is still alive, right? So why not just get Jared Leto to stand there holding a pole all the time, be the body, and just get the guy who played Skeletor in to do the voice, right? Because his face is CG. I mean, he looks really good. Don't get me wrong. Skeletor looks fantastic. And the eyes will kind of freak you out a bit. Because it's when you're sitting there watching it and he's looking from side to side and it's just little red dots of light. It really does have an odd effect, So yeah, I think it's worth seeing. It's probably about 2 Barnards too long.
Yeah.
If anything. But I will say the fight sequences, a lot of them are pretty good. I've got to say the choreography in them is what you would want from a He-Man movie.
Yeah.
Big
fights.
And if you do go and see it, stay for the credits. All I'm going to say.
Does Frank Langella come out of a bowl of blancmange and go, "I'll be back"?
No.
No,
No. Is he still alive, Frank Langella?
I don't know. I think so.
Is he? I've got to look that up there, because if he isn't, then that was the draft I could hear of him spinning in his grave.
What? Let's honour the memory of Frank Langella's fucking.
No,
Skeletor.
let's not honour the memory of Frank Langella's Skeletor, because, as I say, this was the Skeletor in this was actually the Skeletor in this is more like the Skeletor you know and love, right? Let's just that, and it's not. I mean, that it's a very low bar, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about here when it comes to the other one. So this Skeletor definitely wins out, and they make more of an effort with the sort of like the equipment and stuff. Although they do miss a couple of merchandising opportunities in this film, because there were a few toys in there that weren't actually part of the cartoon series. But, you know, they did it with Star Wars as well. They just made some shit up, put it in a package and stuck it on a shelf, and you bought it anyway because it had Star Wars written on it. Right?
Yeah.
So they've missed the opportunity of putting some of the weirder toys in there. You know, like that fucking track. It was like a little tank. It was like a small tank, and it had those tracks on it. Tiny little tank. You know, that one, tank. It moved along the tracks, and then the track would flip over and it would carry on moving in that direction. Do you know the one I mean?
Yeah, I do know the one you mean. I don't know what it was called.
It was called. No, exactly.
Tiny tank.
Yeah, tank. Yeah, tiny tank. Here we go.
Tiny Tim, the tiny tank.
Teeny tiny tank.
Teeny tiny Tim, teeny tiny tumble tank.
And it's got a little compartment in it.
So track, was it?
Track.
Oh, no, I like Tiny Tank. Tiny Tank with its compartment to have your itty bitty ditty bag in there.
Right.
So yeah, for me, Masters of the Universe, bit of a mixed bag. Couldn't quite make up his mind what he wanted to be sometimes.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, there is good in there, but I don't know. There are a lot of people gushing over this at the moment, and it's like, all right, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Darren,
you're wrong.
Whisper it. It's nostalgia bait.
It is nostalgia bait.
It's a thing I like. I can point to the thing I like and clap.
Well, actually, if I've got to be honest, Prince, they take this. I mean, they're not even trying now. Prince Adam becomes the embodiment of that.
Yeah.
In one scene where he's pointing, like, you're so-and-so, and you're so-and-so, and you're this person, and you're that person. And I ain't joking, he's pointing at them, saying this to them. Right? So he is the embodiment of that. Look, stuff.
Yep.
I recognise this, therefore it is valid. This film is excellent. It's brought back something from my memories.
It succeeded in eliciting emotions from my cold, dead heart. Yes, well done.
Indeed.
It has jangled keys, and I have reacted. Woo!
What's that? Program on YouTube where they talk about, they study films, and they always talk about the member berries. The one you like watching. No, with the
Red Letter Media.
Red Letter Media, yeah.
The Rogue One. Yeah. AT-ST's Death Star. Bonda Babu. Bonda Boo Boo. AT-ST's X-Wings. I'm gonna come. Yeah.
Oh, there are some. There are one or two jokes in it about the name Fisto, and some very suggestive.
Yes, I can only imagine.
Yeah. Oh, the kids won't recognise this, will they? Put it in for the adults.
Well, they didn't in the original. I mean, let's be honest. When Fisto offers you his hand.
Yep, I've been fisting people. Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice one, Fisto.
Yeah. And the man, was it He-Man comic? The Fisto lying there on the floor, sort of wiped out, and it looks like he's going to die. And he goes, I tried to fist them. I fisted as many as I could. I fisted them hard. There's He-Man going, "Yes, you did, my old friend. You fisted them good."
I think they've actually they've got that as part of an Ann Summers advert as well. So
Probably.
there you go.
Probably.
Cross promotions, the coming wave.
I think
coming
so.
wave. Now there's a next wave of toys. He-Man and the coming wave. I'm sure it does. Oh, right.
Lovely.
Anyway, is that it, sir?
Yep, that's it.
All good. Okie dokie. Well, there you go. He-Man Masters Universe, eh? That's let's go Fisto.
Let's go Fisto.
Yep. Okay, well I've been basically all around the country to the wonderful worlds of Castle Donington. Cut a long story short, I had to drop my daughter off at the Download Festival.
Wow.
Because she's part of the staff at the festival. So she's one of the many helpers on
Great
site.
stuff.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I've had to drive up there yesterday, and drive back yesterday, which was fun. Yeah, but but I don't think I've ever really understood the size of some of these festivals. I was saying to Jim just before you turned up and we started recording that from the very first campsite which you pass by on the way into the place, which is called the Quiet Camp, which is right on the outskirts of the whole thing, to drive to what they call the Black Gate, which was the entrance for the staff, it took me nearly 25 to 30 minutes of actual just driving to go around the site.
Wow.
To get to this thing. You could see some of the marquees and the tents like almost from space. It was like trying to drive around a massive airport. It's just enormous. So anyway, Lisa's there now. She's there until Monday. And I will be driving up there on Sunday, not this Sunday. Oh yeah, it is this Sunday. Yeah, I'll be driving up Sunday and staying overnight to pick her up on Monday, which is it's going to be fun.
So you're not going to Download then, no?
I'm not going to Download.
No. All right.
I'm not going to see Axl Rose or Limp Bizkit or any of the other nonsense that's there.
You don't want to see Axl Rose giving it the old wow,
mate.
Wow.
After seeing Axl Rose at Glastonbury that about a couple of years back, I just think that was the most embarrassing thing. That sounded like a squeeze box stuffed up an old Muppet, just dragged around the thing, the stage using magnets. It was just the most embarrassing looking shit I've seen in my life. So I'm not too worried about that. But anyway, on to things I have seen. I have seen quite a few things actually since we last spoke. In reverse order. First off, Spider Noir.
Yes, so did I.
So did you, yeah?
Yes. We've started it. We've done the first two.
Okay. Well, I'll go up to. I've watched a few of them. So, what did you think of it, Jim?
From what I've seen, I'm really enjoying it. We watched it in black and white as God intended.
Yes.
And they've got the look of film noir down pat.
Yeah.
And just the general vibe and feeling and the banter.
Yes.
Kind of snappy banter. And so this might be one of the best things Nick Cage has done based on 2 episodes.
Yeah.
That caveat. But the way he's kind of, much like he did in Renfield, he's sort of channeling Humphrey Bogart, but he's not doing a Bogart impersonation.
I will say he, in an attempt to inveigle himself into a certain location, he does do a Jimmy Cagney impression at one point. I
got the impression that was what he was doing all the time, considering stuff.
Yeah.
We'll not
talk about. We'll not go too deep into it. I will say, yeah, there is one point where he literally is like, I'm going to come in here, see, you know me, I know what I do, yes,
Yeah.
see, you see. Yeah,
I'm the spider, yeah.
Yeah. So there is a bit like that. But the bit that I like it, I will say I like it. What I do find distracting, though, is going from CGI stunt Spider-Man to rather more plump, slightly older Nicolas Cage when he takes his hat off. It's literally like when someone. It's literally I can't remember who's described it to me like this, but it's like someone. You know when someone gets a new mattress and they run the knife across the mattress, run the knife across the plastic wrap,
Yeah,
and the whole fucking thing just goes. Just bursts out the plastic wrap. Whenever he takes his mask off, you see that. I just see his face inflate. And it's just like, wow, okay. Well done, CGI guys. You've obviously thought about this a lot.
How many episodes have you actually watched?
I've done about 3 or 4. So
we've done the entire thing, right?
Right.
We'll be doing a couple of episodes today of it. Me and Ree, we sat and watched it. And I've got to say, by the end of it, you could have just dropped all the Spider-Man stuff and quite happily have had Nicolas Cage on screen being Detective, Riley.
Yeah.
And I would have loved that just as much. As as people said, this is like one of the best things he's ever done, right? His performance in this is fantastic. As you say, the snappy dialogue, that really, I think, is the heart of it. That is the thing that is that makes the show work so very much. It's the back and forth, especially like between him and his assistant in the office. She is great, right? Yeah. Possibly one of my favorite characters in that show is her. Yeah. Right? Love her. She is just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, don't say anything too much because if Jim's only seen 2.
No, but she's in it all the time. That's it. So it's
she's bloody great.
Yeah, she is consistent throughout the entire series.
Yeah,
I'll say that for you. She doesn't suddenly become like a shit character or anything. She's just great all the way through it. That's it. So props to her. And Nicolas Cage as well plays his part very well.
Yeah.
Some of the some of the fight scenes in it. This is what I mean about the Spider-Man stuff. It's like the punches are literally telegraphed.
Yeah.
And it's not fast enough for it to be. I don't know. It just the fighting, I think, seems
the choreography.
To lack. Yeah, and it's the way the character moves too slow when getting to certain things on screen to get into position.
Yeah.
It's like, you could have undercranked the film a bit for that, just to make him look like he's moving a bit quicker, because it just seems a bit
like a 70-year-old Nicolas Cage trying to swing a punch.
Yeah, and it's just like the villains are being polite about it, and not kind of.
No, it does have in some ways. It does have a sort of Bugsy Malone 1940s kind of
all of that is
movie kind of vibe.
Yeah, all of that is great. I love it. Again, watching it in black and white, because that is the only way to view this. I'm sorry, I have seen. I went around with dad's and I was showing him this, and if you've got it on your phone, you can only watch it in colour. So we watched the first 5 or 10 minutes of it just to show him what it was like, and it didn't have. I didn't think it had the same charm.
No,
as the black and white version.
If you watch it on a smart TV or on certain smart devices, you can flip flop between the two versions while they're playing. My TV gives me the option to do that while I'm watching it. It's like you can pull it up like the flip flop and flip between the color and the black and white. I have to give props as well to the score. soundtrack. I
Oh
love
God,
the
yes.
soundtrack. I really do.
We live in a golden age of title tunes.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
had things like the Peacemaker. We've had that.
Mhm.
We've had this one, Doom Patrol as well. Fuck me,
Yeah.
I always watch the opening of that.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of that tune on that one. It gets stuck inside my head. And it's like
Arcane.
this.
Yeah.
It's
great.
exactly. It's like they really up the game on this, and it's got a lovely catchy tune.
Yeah.
And I love that little bling at the end of it.
Yeah.
That is just nice. Little
Nice.
cherry on the top there.
So, yeah, okay. Well, from various different positions on the runtime, the Spider-Man's thumbs up.
Indeed.
Yep. Moving on, I have also watched a few films. I will go in order of good to bad. The first one I watched not too long ago was Normal. Have you heard of this?
No.
Yeah, okay.
I've heard of it, but I can't remember what it is because I'm old.
Don't worry. It affects us all, Jim. Don't worry, we're all the same. It's Bob Odenkirk, yeah, and if you can imagine Bob Odenkirk in Hot Fuzz, but it's set in Fargo, that would give you an idea of where you're going.
Okay,
right.
So essentially, he's a sheriff who's like he's part-time sheriff. So essentially, wherever there's a town that's lost a sheriff or a new sheriff is needed, until that sheriff gets voted in, he comes in and just all his job is just to keep the peace until the new sheriff takes over. Jobs are good. And essentially, this town is very, very closed. It's very much like there's the old lady in the knitting shop who's got the radio, who's listening out on the police bands. There's the really nice copper who's a bit, he's a bit dim. He thinks he's cool because he's wearing a leather jacket, all this kind of thing. And so Bob Odenkirk walks into this, and then there's the mayor played by Henry Winkler, the Fonz. And essentially, this town is in the middle of snowy arse nowhere. And they're doing very well for themselves considering how small and tiny and close-knit this town is. And then what happens is the bank gets robbed by these two idiots. They rob the bank, but as soon as they rob the bank, they set off a series of events which suddenly has Bob Odenkirk realizing how this town is doing so well for itself. And everyone in the town is in on it in a very much like Hot Fuzz way, in a very much like, look, you seen that Nick Angel? He's not half fit and all this sort of thing. It's very much that. And then it all kicks off. And then it kicks off for about half the runtime. And it's both hilarious, action-packed, and strangely gory as well, ridiculously gory in places. And yeah, it's a fun time. It's not what I'd call a brilliant movie overall, but if you want to watch, if you like Nobody and its sequel, and you suddenly went, I'd quite like to see another Jerry action movie with Bob Odenkirk looking like a hangdog, a blood cross between a human and a bloodhound, just being sort of slumped in a chair for a while, and then all of a sudden he has to become ultimate killing machine in a town full of knitters and DIY enthusiasts. Then this is the film for you. So I had a good time with it. It's not the best film in the world, but it's at least fun. Which is less that can be said for the next film I watched, which was Cold Storage. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
Is this Locked in the Morgue or something?
No, not quite. This one's one which I file under the trailer sold you something which it didn't do. It's the kind of movie that in the 90s would have been at the back of the VHS boxes, and you'd find it. It'll be 80 minutes long. Roger Corman would have made it. There'd be blood, guts, a helicopter exploding, and a woman with her boobs out within 15 minutes. And then the film would end up before you even hit the hour and a half mark. But in this case, it's 2 fucking hours long, and so very pleased with how, cool it is with itself. Essentially, you've got these 2 complete dweebs who are looking after a storage unit. And when I say storage unit, it's like, imagine Big Yellow Storage kind of thing. But it turns out that the storage unit was bought from the army, and the army themselves had an extra 3 levels underneath with some killer virus that they found from the remnants of Skylab. And they put it in cold storage, as the title. Unfortunately, 30 years have passed, and now here we are. Cold storage unit has failed, and these 2 idiots are, on the brink of sort of unleashing a Quatermass-style viral disaster upon the Earth. And in strolls Liam Neeson as the old hand who's seen this before and once blew up an entire town with white phosphorus, just to stop this thing from spreading. And if you watch the trailer, you think, quip, quip, funky, funky, funny, funny, blood, guts, gore. But what you actually get is quip, quip.
Oh, right.
Oh, they're doing this thing. Oh, they're doing it again. This, and they can't. And worst thing is that the movie can't decide what the virus does. Does it bring people and things back from the dead, sort of a la Return of the Living Dead? Does it explode and turn people into walking fucking fungal like Last of Us? Does it take over everything? Can it eat through steel? Can it eat through boots? Can it eat through... Well, sometimes it can, but then sometimes the plot says it can't. And it's just such a jumbled mishmash of a movie that by the time you hit the end of it, you're like, I don't care about fucking any of it. And the only running gag is that Liam Neeson, when he first encountered this virus, got hit by a car and he did his back in. So every now and again, he's shooting zombies, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, my back, and then he'll just fall over, and he's having to shoot people while lying on the floor. It's a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. It looked better in the trailer than what it was in the actual film. If it was 40 minutes shorter, and they really went into the Roger Corman, Brian Usna kind of body horror, stupid gore, splashy nonsense, I think you'd got away with it. But it's just not. It's just not as funny or gory as it needs to be. It's just a bit dumb. You just sit there kind of going, okay. And it got to the point where I was watching it and I was literally thinking, I can skip forward 10 seconds on this bit because they're just standing there looking at some slime. Skip forward. I've lost nothing. Skip forward. And when you start doing
that slime.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, even things like people get locked in the U-Haul in one of the storage units, and they've covered in the goo as they're locked in the storage unit, and one guy's standing there going, open the door. And you're like, why would you open the door when you can hear this thing behind the door going, smash, 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 smash? And it's like, it's that kind of stupid thing where if you made it more camp and a bit madder, you'd accept that. But because the film doesn't play as funny as you think, as it clearly needs to, when you get people going, open the door, let my friend out, you're like, oh, goodness me, for fuck's sake. So it's all a bit, it's a bit of a, but not as much of a as our final film before we go off, which is In the Grey, which is a fucking cinematic war crime. Basically, let's put it to you this way, yeah? It's Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal, That lady whose name eludes me every time, but she just looks like a dozen others that all look the same. Cat's eyes and big lips and dits. Hold on a sec. In the Grey. It is
Kat Denning.
Elza Gonzalez, who was also in Ungentlemanly Warfare or whatever it was. I can't remember the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Do you remember that?
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a Guy Ritchie movie, right? Straight away. Now, there's two types of Guy Ritchie movie. There's Guy Ritchie who turns up and he's interested, and in which case you get a bit of fun action, aka, Man from U.N.C.L.E., for example, or Lock, Stock, or anything like that. And then there's Guy Ritchie who turns up and he really couldn't give a fuck. And that's the one who turns up for this. Yeah?
Right.
This movie is an hour and 40 long, and it felt about 4 hours long. It's the most tedious fucking movie. The reason it's the tedious movie is, let me give you the general premise. There's big banks, and big banks do business with evil men, because that's how banks make their money. But every now and again, they do business with an evil person who is, let's be frank, evil and untrustworthy because he's a criminal. So when one of these evil, untrustworthy men steals $1 billion from the bank and refuses to give it back and sits on an island, and every time someone from the bank comes over to do something about it, gets sent home in a box, what they do is they employ this team, and this team is this Elza Gonzalez, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Henry Cavill. So you think, right, and then Jake Gyllenhaal's like the security specialist, and he's the hard nut, and then you've got Henry Cavill, who's Mr. Big and sensible, and he plans all the actions and all the things they're going to do, and Elza Gonzalez is the brains. She's the one who goes in and legally ties all this stuff up. Yeah. And essentially, this bad guy, who's played by Javier Bardem's brother, Carlos Bardem, he's got this island. He's got infinite amounts of wealth, and he refuses to give any of it back. And these three need to get on to this island and take him down and get the money back for the bank. That's fine. And you think, right, okay, globetrotting spy thriller heist movie coming up. But what actually happens is they say, oh, well, what we've got to do is we've got to get to Carlos. And the way we're going to do this Carlos guy, Manny Salazar, as he plays, we've got to get to this Manny Salazar. And to get him, we've got to inconvenience him to the point where he gives us the money. Because if he does it that way, we can get away scot-free without having to blow him up or anything, and we can give the money back to the bank, and the bank, keeps their hands clean, and we do it all above board. And now, bearing in mind, this movie's an hour and 40 minutes long, and what actually happens is Elza Gonzalez, or whatever her name is, in the film she's called Rachel. Rachel explains it like this. Right, and I'm going to do this almost word for word, right? She goes, right, John, that's Henry Cavill. She goes, John's going to go to this place in Dubai, and what John's going to do is he's going to look at the building which this Manny Salazar is doing, and get it sort of stop all the building works because it's because of a code violation. And when he does that, that will mean that Manny Salazar is spending $5 million a day for these engineers to do nothing on site because they're not allowed to work. Meanwhile, Michael, a.k.a. Bronco, a.k.a. Jake Gyllenhaal, will go to the island, and he will go to this oil rig, which is on the island, and basically put a fuse in there, which will basically disable the oil rig. And when the oil rig can't sail out to sea, the insurance won't pay for anything because it's a manufacturing problem. Therefore, this Manny Salazar will be losing another $5 million a day for an oil rig, which isn't drilling and making money. So therefore, it's losing even more money, which means it's going to be losing like $15 million a day. We've already cost him $20 million a day. We will get the money back. Now, as she's saying it, just like that, literally like I've just done, you see these things happening. And it's like, so is there any consequence to this? Is there any action? Nope. You literally get cutscenes of Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal just doing things as she's saying them. And literally, as she says, Jake Gyllenhaal will go in here and replace a fuse. And when he replaces the fuse, the oil rig won't work and then it'll be shut down. She says it like that, and you see fuse, hand, Jake Gyllenhaal in hand. Then he walks away smiling, and the oil rig's not working anymore. Right. That's it. Done. Okay. So this big heist thing, all happens off screen, narrated in 10-second clips in the first 15 minutes of a 1 hour 40 movie. The rest of it is them planning to escape should anything happen to this Elsa Gonzalez woman. And it's like nothing does. They're planning like racing bikes down roads, and you know, if we get caught here, then we're gonna have to do this, that, and the other. And they're talking all these plans, and it goes on for about an hour, and nothing happens. And it's just like, when's the movie actually going to start? Because I've not seen anything happen. I've seen you practice for an escape that you didn't have to do, and I've seen you pull off the heist in the first 5 minutes of the fucking movie with no consequences, threat, no worries. There's even a bit where they say, oh, Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal will go into Javier Bardem's brother's house and put bugs underneath the table so we'll know when he's getting really angry. And do you know what? They don't have to sneak past anyone. They don't have to walk past any guards. They don't have to take care of anything. Literally, as she says it, they open the door, they walk in, they put the bug in, they walk straight back out. And it's like, where's the threat? Where's the thrill? Where's the action? Where's the, you know, the Steven Soderbergh doom doom doodle doom? You know, how are we going to get in there? Look at this. This is the plan. Is the plan going to get pulled off? We don't know. No, they just fucking do it. It's like, I heard about the Mandalorian. There's one bit where apparently Mandalorian's supposed to break into a building. Which is like a fortress, and he's standing outside the fortress. And then it cuts to the next scene, and he walks into the fortress door, and it goes doo-doo-doo. And it's like, done. How did he do it? Don't know. Carry on. The film just moves, and it's like that. It's just a series. It's like a series of video vignettes, and nobody bothered to put a movie around it. And it's so fucking pleased with itself. And I mean, the movie's got like 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb, and I think, honestly, I must have had a stroke because I have no idea how anyone enjoyed any of this old bollocks. It really is absolute
that good, eh?
Gosh, it is fucking nonsense. It's people say it's stylish, but stylish just means all that happens is whenever fucking Henry Cavill starts talking like some hello, I'm going to explain to you, old Charlie, what we're going to do, old chum. We're going to take a 4x4 and stick it up a wing bang boo. And he goes on about these things. And as he's doing it, there's little like scribbly lines coming up on the screen going, you know, apples and pears equals stairs. You know, that sort of thing. And it's just like, oh, fuck off. Absolute twaddle. And then you look on bloody Letterboxd for the reviews, And all it is just a bunch of people thirst trapping, going, "When's Henry Cavill going to kiss Jake Gyllenhaal?" It's like, just fuck off. What a load of old cock gobbling. It really is. Quite literally. I mean, it's just terrible, terrible film. It really is one of those naff old piles of shit that you just sit there going, who wrote this? What is this crap? And I seriously, people who big this up either getting paid off by Amazon or they just have a really low standard. Because I just don't know how anyone could sit there and enjoy this beyond going, oh look, there's some hunky man meat and and a pretty lady, and then there's no action, there's no thrill, there's no stakes. It's just twaddle. It's absolute twaddle. Yep. So there you go. That's Into the Grey. Don't bother.
Grey. I thought this was like the porn version of The Grey with,
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Oh. I'm going to punch a wolf.
Yes. I'm going to punch a wolf made of penises. That sort of thing,
you know what? If it was, it'll make it about 1 million times more interesting. If there was at least one knob to the front of a wolf's face, I'd have gone, this is absolute cinema. But no,
it's lost out.
It's just people explaining things.
Oh no,
it's just a whole film of people explaining things.
You get talked at for 2 hours.
Pretty much, and then you have a tiny action sequence at the very end, which is bollocks. And then even then, it's like, oh, we've caught this guy. Oh well, what's going to happen to him? I don't know. You don't know, because what happens is it just shows you off screen that something's happened and he has been defeated somehow. It's like, really? Is that it? You're not going to say anything more? You're not going to show us an action sequence? No, not at all. There's even a point where they show you a map and then go, oh, yeah, well, if Checkpoint North doesn't work out, we'll go to Checkpoint West. But the problem is with Checkpoint West, we have to go down a storm drain. And it goes, if that doesn't work out, we have to go down Checkpoint East. And if that doesn't, and that means we have to go across a banana field. And if that doesn't work, and it's just like, you just think, right. So none of these going to work out because you've already told us you want to go across a banana field because you've got a banana field for an afternoon, and you want to go to the fucking storm drains because no one films down there. It's nice and cheap. Oh, and what do you know? They're in a race. Oh, no, Checkpoint North has been taken over. Okay, I bet we're going down the storm drains. There we go. It's just like, oh, fuck it, hellfire. Anyway. You won't get that review on the fucking internet, I'll tell you that.
No, I bet you won't.
Stick that on the poster. In the Grey, fucking hellfire. So, anyway, apparently we don't have any feedback for the producers. Can't say I'm terribly surprised, but there you go. So we won't bother with feedback. But if anybody does have any feedback and they want to send it in, or if someone else has seen In the Grey and is one of those 65% that thinks it's actually any good, send it in. Let me know what I missed, because I might need to go for an MRI scan because I thought I was having a stroke. But anyway,
what you do in the dark of a cinema is your business, okay?
Do you know what? If I was having a stroke in the cinema watching fucking I Want My Hunky Boys, then I would have had a much better time, but I didn't. I really didn't. It's bollocks. But anyway, you know the usual routes. Send it into feedback@blackdogpodcast.com or jump on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will be back with the Invisible Man. Woo! He's behind me, isn't he? Woo! Right, The Invisible Man is a 2020 science fiction horror film written and directed by Lee Whannell. Where have I seen him before? Oh, he's done Saw movies and Insidious movies. Lee Whannell, that's it. It's loosely based on the H.G. Wells 1897 novel of the same name. It stars Elizabeth Moss as a woman who believes that she's being stalked and gaslit by her abusive ex-boyfriend after he's acquired the ability to become invisible. The film also stars Aldous Hodge, my teeth are being run in for another horse. Storm Reed, Harriet Dreyer, and Michael Dorman. The film was developed initially in 2006, and then the production was halted in 2011 as they were going to do a Dark Universe. Do you remember that?
Yes.
The Universal Dark Universe went well, didn't it? But after the critical failure and the cancelling of the project after The Mummy in 2017, Universal moved away from the serialized universe to standalone films, and this movie re-entered development in 2019 and was released in 2020. The film had a budget of $7 million. How much do you reckon it made at the box office, Jim?
I can't actually see the figures to read them.
Nice. Darren?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I know that they were very open and very transparent with the actual accounts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I mean, they say that though, but I can see right through them.
Well, the joke's on you because the answer's clear.
Oh God!
Anyway, no, actually, it made $144.5 million.
Wow!
From a budget of $7 million. I'm surprised we haven't seen at least 20 sequels since then.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you go. We're going to go around the table. The tweet length review, non-spoiler, and what did everyone think about it? Darren, this was your pick, so you'll go last. Jim, have you seen this film before?
I have, yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, in which case, as the one person who hasn't seen this film before, I'll go first, which is a bit unusual. I liked this movie. I liked it. I didn't love it because there's a certain point in the movie where it stops being a tense movie and becomes a Terminator movie. At which point I was just like, okay, this is a different movie. So 2/3 of the movie, thumbs up. 1/3 of the movie, yeah. But yeah, overall, I liked it. Jim?
This was a second watch for me. I've enjoyed watching it both times. I got a bit more out the second time because I knew what was coming. And seeing it the second time, you go, oh, that's pretty clever the way that's laid out. Not to go into spoilers, but once you know a certain character's intentions, all the things happen, you go, oh, that's very well played.
Yeah.
And that it comes together pretty well. So I have I wouldn't have a lot of fun with it because I think it's quite a dark movie. And
yeah.
On one hand, it is a fun horror movie, but it is about something actually quite real. And there's a few things that are a bit close to home for me. But having known people in those sort of, shall we say, extremely toxic relationships.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a few things that do really bite. There's just kind of, that's actually really nail on the head for how these people operate.
Okay. That's cool. Yes. Right. Okay. And Darren?
Like Jim, I think I got a bit more out of this on the second viewing.
Right.
I enjoyed it the first time. I thought it was just really well done. You know, some lovely little touches, some attention to detail. That, you know, if you blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
But, if you catch these things happening, you know, just over the shoulder, then it kind of it adds to the tension, I think.
Yeah.
And
cool.
So so really, really good. Really enjoyed it again.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Lovely. Rightio. Well, there you go. Overall, a thumbs up with a for me in one particular moment, but we'll get to that, and we'll roll the spoiler zone. Spoilers! Yes, it's into spoilers. Here we are.
Yes, we are. Here we are. Hello.
Hello. Can you see me? I'm over here.
Who said that? Is that John Cena again?
Fucking John Cena. Yeah. Okay. So, well, I guess probably the best thing for me to do is to sit back and listen in a lot of ways, because you two both just said something about like the film hitting close to home. And I mean, beyond the invisibility side of things, the main theme is obviously coercion, toxic relationships, abuse, mental and physical. So I think probably best just to let you have at it. So I'll start with you, Jim. Go on, go for it.
So I'm very kind of like, when they announced they're doing an Invisible Man film, it's kind of, really, what are you going to do with it? So, attempts to bring back the Universal Monsters haven't been great.
You could say that again.
But you know what I mean? It's kind of the Dark Universe. I mean, Tom Cruise effectively scuppered that by sticking his oar in and taking over the Mummy.
Yeah.
And, but there is, I think this really, it just takes the name The Invisible Man, and that's really it from the original story. Yeah. Although the Invisible Man in the original story is a megalomaniac psychopath.
Yes.
Because I think, in later movies he becomes the Invisible Man becomes a heroic character, and we had several series with Invisible Men as heroes. So this is in a way is going back to basics. It really doesn't resemble Wells' story at all, but in that idea of that, what if the man who's invisible is an absolute sociopath?
Yeah.
Who is going to abuse this power like you wouldn't believe to fuck with people. That is actually on the money. And I think it works on a metaphorical level.
Yeah.
Because there's if we talk about kind of invisible folk in literature, there's a novel by a chap called Ralph Ellison called Invisible Man. And it's not a science fiction story. It's about the experience of a black man. And basically the premise of the book is this guy, he's invisible unless he fucks up. And then everyone's on his case because the black man fucked up.
Yeah.
And here, I think what they've done with this Invisible Man is, yes, he's a guy who's got this super invisibility suit. He's going to use it to absolutely terrorize his ex and punish her and take gaslighting into the fifth dimension. But there's also a metaphor here, because the world doesn't see him for what he really is. Only the people closest to him. His real self is invisible. Before he actually has the suit. And that's the ultimate gaslighting that these people do, is that they appear completely respectable.
Yeah.
But once that door shuts and they're alone with their spouse or their significant other or a close family member, they are the devil.
Yeah.
But they have this almost like a mask, which is almost like an armor. And you see it in other predators as well. Epstein, Savile, they cultivate a public image, which is the exact opposite. And say, this is the truth of this Invisible Man, is it's not the fact he has the power to become invisibility, it's that he's hidden the monster he is from the world and got away with it and used it to leverage to get everything he wants. As a few people have noted, that you don't become a billionaire by being a nice guy.
No, quite the opposite. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Darren, go for it.
Yeah. It's like those themes that Jim's kind of mentioned there about toxic relationships, and how women in a lot of cases are treated like this by their ex. And it's that whole thing of women being believed as well, because a lot of them aren't until it's too late.
Yeah.
And this is a fine way of kind of pushing that to the extreme. I mean, toxic relationships are bad enough, but then you've got someone who really can make it look like, you are going mad.
Yeah.
Which is one of those sort of aims of people who sort of like push this sort of thing on their partners. It's to ruin them. It is to separate them as well from their friends. That is another tactic that is used, isolation. And you see that to great effect in this. The isolation of him smacking that girl in the face and making it look like it's Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of that kind of thing in this film, and the whole gaslighting element of it as well. Especially that. So I've known people who've been in this kind of situation. It's never pleasant or anything like that. Worst thing in the world you can, find yourself in is a situation like that. And then it's trying to get away from them, And of course, the best thing anyone can do who's been in that kind of relationship is to, succeed and live your best life. That is the best way to get back.
Yeah.
Anybody who does that to you is just live a good life.
Yeah, get away.
Get away, yep. Be successful, with that. So, lots of talking points in this film. I do love, there are certain scenes in this that are just absolutely superb. And there's one bit where Elizabeth Moss's character gets called out. She walks outside and stands on a porch in the cold, and you see her breathing, and all of a sudden you see a puff of air behind her.
Right behind her, yeah.
Exactly. And it's lovely little touches like that. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, there's even scenes where you're not even sure yourself if he's there or not. Because there's no movement or anything like this. Nothing gets moved. Nothing is distorted. And it's like, is she shouting at air, or is he just being very still at that moment in time?
I mean, to that point, I thought though that's when the film was at its most effective, when the cheapest camera move was better than any special effect, where it was just like it's doing the Prowley POV, and you think, right, okay, fine, we know he's there. But then after a minute or two, you get a scene where she's just standing in the room and she's like, I don't know, trying on a dress or something, and then the camera will just move away from her to look into a corner of a room.
Yeah.
And there's nothing going on. But the fact that the camera's moved forces you into a paranoia state of something's about to happen. Something's going to happen. Something's there. And it's really, I found that sort of stuff really effective because...
Oh, God, yeah.
Not only is it a nice cheap effect, all you got to do is move a camera and let the audience fill in the blanks. The idea of filling in the blanks in your own mind, I've always maintained, is much better than any CGI effect.
It's an Alfred Hitchcock thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also to Jim's point, it's very good for sort of tying in thematically to the idea of paranoia, of unease that nowhere, not even in an empty room, can you feel comfortable, because that's the kind of gaslighting and abuse that the main character's suffered. So therefore, that's how she feels. So the director and the cameraman and the DOP and all the others all put you in that position as well by making you as paranoid as she is.
Yeah.
And I thought that was when the film was at its strongest. And when the the Invisible Man, I can never remember his bloody name. Is it Nick? I can't remember his name. I'll have to look it up.
Named by his dad after a shaving accident.
Yeah, exactly. Adrian, that's it. And so there was, so when when Adrian's kind of like, he's in the room, fair enough. That's scary. When you don't know he's in the room, and the camera is just forcing you to look into a corner, which seems apparently completely innocuous, and it makes you paranoid, even though there's nothing there. That's when it's really strong. The point I was going to get to later, but I might as well just do it now, is when he finally goes ding dong do lally, and he's wearing the invisible suit and he's doing all these crazy ass shit things, like trying to kill everyone in an insane asylum, all the guards in the asylum. It's just like, that's where the film is at its weakest, when it's trying to go, oh, look at the effect. There he is. He's rippling in the air like the Predator. And, oh, look, cop number 1 comes up and gets knocked over. Cop number 2 walks up, looks at the body and goes, well, what's going on? Bang, goes down. Cop number 3. And it's just like, this is like a game, like a video game now. There's just people just running into the room and just getting bumped off endlessly. And then when the guy gets shot, the suit fractures, but it's like, but the suit's somehow stronger than bullets. Okay. And off he jolly well trundles, and it is like the scene in the Terminator with Arnie kind of walking his way through a fucking police station. At which point I was just like, oh, yeah, I could have done without that. I mean, it's a nice set piece, but it kind of turns him from being a genuine, terrifying villain into another monster that's just, he absolutely will not stop. How did you guys feel about that?
Well, that bit.
Oh, yeah. Was when he suddenly started manifesting and doing more actual overt stuff, did you find that was good or helped, or did it, like it did for me, undermine him as a character or as a threat?
Well, I thought it's pretty typical of people like that. It's the whole thing, like most serial killers, as they go on about their business and they do what they do, they get more confident as they go on until they start getting a sort of God complex that they can't be touched, which makes them fuck up. And that's kind of what happens here. He thinks he's untouchable with the suit, and this is him doing his big fuck up moment. Yeah. Right? Which is kind of needed, because it's that whole thing of finally getting someone to believe her that it's not her, that there is something odd going on. Yeah. Because they all think she's mad, right? She's been put away. They've managed to, her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend has managed to get her basically assigned to an asylum. Yeah. It's another one of the tactics, make them mad, make them feel like they're going mad. And make everyone else believe that. Yeah. And he does that thing, what's that phrase about the devil? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was making people think he didn't exist. And that's kind of like this. He made people think he was dead. when he wasn't.
Yeah.
You know? So, in a way, it's this whole thing of being attacking is, I think it kind of follows a pattern of those sort of people, where the how, you know, the amount of people, as you say, I mean, it was really nice of them to queue up and come in one at a time.
It was proper old school 70s kung fu. I will attack you one at a time.
And I do have also one thing that made me scratch my head with this film. It didn't spoil it for me, but it would have made a whole load of difference to Elizabeth Moss's character had she done what I thought she was going to do, but didn't. Any sane person in the situation would have done, and that was where she discovered the suit and didn't film it. She had a camera in her hand. Now, if it was me, I would have put that video on and I would have got it to do its thing, right? And just filmed it. But she didn't do it. She had the equipment there. Everything was in her hand. She could have done this, got some proof, or at least, you know, enough to give someone reasonable doubt.
But then again, just as a counterpoint, I agree, but I would just say as a counterpoint, at that point, nobody believed her about anything. So there was nothing to say that she wouldn't just produce that video, show it to someone, and they go, "Oh yeah, you've done a special effect. What is this crazy nonsense you're showing me?"
Maybe so. Maybe so. But I don't know. I still think
that's one of those things. Video isn't very good evidence anymore now, is it?
No, quite the opposite. So Jim, what about you? How did you feel about the him becoming more of a overt monster as opposed to a quiet threat?
Well, I think if it just ended with that big punch up, I wouldn't have been pleased. But the thing is, that is just kind of like, I think that's a big release of the tension. But it sets up what's actually the real final act. Because there is a twist.
Yes.
To all of that.
Yeah.
Where she kind of like, he's really, he's really, master chess player. I have to give him that for working out his moves. And what a cold motherfucker.
Yeah.
Sacrificing his own brother. But his brother was probably his original victim anyway.
That was going to be my next question. But yeah.
But I think it does, with all these kind of people, they're very, very controlled, but it will always get to a tipping point where they fucking blow their stack.
Yeah.
So it didn't sort of sit out of the ordinary with me. Because these things they get to a point where they fuck up.
Yeah.
And he lost control of the situation as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. It's like now panic,
Yeah.
It's when that control cracks, they're liable to go volcanic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll speak from my own experience of that, of kind of someone who no one suspected what they were like. But once there was a little crack in control, suddenly it was kind of like, a lot of people found out a lot of shit, shall we say, and saw a door and window kicked in and thought, he did that? You're fucking kidding me, you know? But that is how it goes. That didn't seem sort of out of phase, as it were, for me, because I know that is kind of, that sort of, they can be so meticulous.
Yeah.
I mean, bloody good for years at a time, but then just that one thing tips them over the edge, and this, and the fury takes over, and all the caution goes out the window.
Yeah,
momentarily, at least.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, you kind of preempted it, but I'll ask you both. I'll start with you, Darren. I mean, how did you feel about the brother getting involved? Because to me, it seemed like, I mean, it made sense at the end, but while I was watching it, when the brother suddenly was revealed to be the Invisible Man, or one of them, as it turns out, I sort of thought, there you go. There's your nice closed loop. It's not. It's the other guy really is dead. The brother was the one. He's a nutter. Congratulations. Good work. And then I sort of wrote it off. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, hang on. He's still around. How could that be? No. Oh no, it's the fucking geezer. It's him. He's still alive. I was wondering how you felt about that.
You see, this begs a few questions, right? This is where it kind of like the credibility has to get a little bit stretched here,
right?
Because they said they saw his body, right? So if they've seen the body and it's been identified as him,
yeah,
what did they do to? Was this a fake body? Was it a plastic body? Was it somebody who just happened to look exactly like the person who died? Because, that identification, it's pretty final. So I can understand if they said, oh, his car blew up when it went off a cliff, but they never found his body. And then it turns out he's actually, stuffed away in a basement. That would be believable, but they go on about how they've seen his body, and it was, identified.
Did the police say that they'd seen his body? Because I don't think they did.
I think the brother said.
Yeah, the brother
said that.
See, I think as long as it's just the brother passing the information along, you can kind of, well, at least I can let that slide, because it's like, yeah, there's your unreliable guy. But I don't think you ever see the police.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't she go on the web and look it up?
Yeah, it says that he died, and
yeah,
but there's never like a shot of the body or anything.
Okay. No, I mean you don't see that on there, but it, like I say, it was mentioned about the him finding the body and all that.
It's my only niggle with this movie is that the manner of death that the brother shows him, because that's kind of leaves me also a question: how did you fake that? I know you've got all the money in the world, but I know you can buy a lot of, you can turn a lot of heads to look the other way, but it's still, why go with that when you could have been in a fire and had dental records, which are a lot easier to fake?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then again, also, if it's just the brother showing him that, he's kind of, well, is that kosher? Is that what the police saw, or is that not? 'Cause it probably isn't. Yeah. It's all part of the manipulation. But first, I never bought that when it was revealed the brother. I never thought it was the brother all along. I thought he's not dead. He's a clever bastard. He's actually he sacrificed his brother like a poison pawn.
Yeah,
and so he has yet another death to make it even more unlikely it could ever come back to him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I thought the brother being involved was a nice little twist and a nice misdirect. It didn't last very long, but then it started to raise all sorts of other questions, like how many of these bloody suits has he got? Because Adrian's got a suit, what's his face has got a suit, the brother, and and Elizabeth Moss has got a suit which is hidden away. It's like, how many, was it like fucking Marks and Spencer's shirts that they come in packs of 3? What the fuck is this? But, the credibility did start to stretch with the brother, I think, but I didn't find that as big a deal as suit makes me invincible. You stabbed me, I don't care. You shot me, I don't care. You set me on fire and blasted me in the face with a fire extinguisher. Yeah, my suit will protect me. But anyway, what about the finale? The actual conclusion, because I don't know. was there, because it plays it like you're supposed to be fooled into thinking that Adrian was obviously kidnapped and he was put away in the room and the brothers taken over. But were you ever convinced by that?
No.
Oh, no. I don't think you're meant to be convinced by that.
No.
Because I think you've seen everything she's seen, and you know he'll do anything. He will go to do any length to achieve his aims.
Yeah.
And a bit of dress up from playing hostage is just that's a walk in the park, considering the other shit he's already pulled.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh yeah, you're a clever bastard, aren't you?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It sounds, because we've seen everything she's seen, that may make you go, yeah, you absolute twat, he's faking. But do you realise, because you're not her, how crazy that sounds to anyone else? What do you mean? He faked his own death and his own brother took him hostage and he faked that as well. It's kind of...
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, it does sound crazy. So you kind of start to wonder how much you could probably get away with. I guess that's the point of the film, though, isn't it? Is that once you've been written off as crazy, no one will listen to you, and that's what they count, and that's what, you know, toxic personalities kind of thrive on, by isolating you and making you look like the nuts. Then you're the one at fault, and no one will believe you. Which brings me to the only other real kind of moment I had with this film, and again, I stress I really like this for the most part, was the sister. She gets all involved, and Elizabeth Moss is like, okay, thank you for your help, thank you for sorting all this out, thank you for rescuing me, thank you for picking me up. And then out of nowhere comes this utterly mad fucking email. And at no point does the sister come back and say, why did you write this? At no point does Elizabeth Moss turning up going, it's not me, I didn't send it. And then the sister goes, oh, but it came from your email address. It's like, how many times in in your lifetime and my lifetime and yours, Dow, have people got emails that purport to come from you and have just got spoofed addresses at the top? You know what I mean? It just seemed like the sister was so ready to believe one random email just comes out of nowhere.
Well, we are dealing with an age where people could just about know how to switch their computer on. Most people in the public. So I don't even know if she'd know what a spoofed email is. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it more goes to the point because there's other things that are said that quite clearly she's been at loggerheads with her sister. And I mean, I don't even need to be Sherlock Holmes to realise that probably for a good time her sister was going, this guy's no good. And she said, no, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
And this has been a bone of contention, their relationship.
Yeah.
And there's a kind of a lot of sort of tension and bad blood being generated by this relationship, and probably a good of it stoked by him as well on the quiet.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of those things. I think it is kind of he knows her well enough to write a very convincing email to just push all the personal buttons, so she wouldn't even think it was somebody else, because no one else she would think would say those things and reference those things in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way only someone knows you really well can.
Yeah. I guess what probably then what was really missing was like a little tiny exposition piece between the two sisters, just to explain that kind of back history prior to it. You know, even just something as simple as, you never liked him, I should have listened to you. or something like that. Just something just to hint that there was something beneath the surface that we've not really seen. Because it did seem to just be like, oh, you're my best sister in the world. I love you so much, best sister in the world. And it's like, you sent me one bad email. I'm never speaking to you again. Fuck off. It's like, yeah, okay. Whereas I guess if you had a little bit more context for, I forgive you, you forgive me, you've rescued me from my abusive boyfriend, thank you. After, kind of might just, I don't know, smooth those waters over. What about you, Dale? How did you feel about that? About the sister believing the abusive email.
Yeah, as I say, if I've got to be honest, she doesn't seem like the sort of person that would know what a spoofed email is. So she just knows email.
Yeah.
And she's going to see the account. So it's quite, and it's like Elizabeth Moss's character probably wouldn't know the terminology either. Because it wasn't, I mean, scams were around about then, but, more so sort of like around about now. But,
yeah,
I think it's believable. It's annoying, but it's believable.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's
It
one
wasn't
of
like
things. It's like, yeah,
you're gone.
Because you have to wonder: do you know your sister at all? Is this the sort of thing you'd expect her to say? As you said, why not have it out with her? But I suppose time constraints of the story.
Yeah,
who knows?
Like I say, it's not really the end of the world for me. It wasn't like a killer, but it's just, I don't know. It was just one of those.
But no, I see where that annoyed me a little bit.
Yeah, I can understand why it needed
stuff like this.
I know why it needed to happen, but it's just, it was just like suddenly out of left field. Oh, we've gone from love to your sister to I hate your sister. But and the only other thing, which is kind of tied into that, is how many strange and weird things have to happen in really public places, and yet magically she's still not believed. And again, I know that's
it's the Scully syndrome.
Yeah, I know. I know it's the
Fox again. It's a fucking spaceship.
And she goes, like, "Ooh, I've dropped my keys."
Yeah, I've dropped my keys. Oh.
As a fucking Star Destroyer rumbles overhead. Yeah. I mean, no, I totally get thematically. It's the whole thing of, even in the most public place, you can be abused and not feel safe, and no one will believe you. I totally get that. It's just when there's like a 6-inch fucking carving knife floating over the back of Elizabeth Moss's shoulder for the better part of like a minute, and long enough for both of them to turn around and focus on it, and the music to go. It's like, are you telling me there's no one in this fucking packed to the gills restaurant, including the overly attentive waiter who's been there like 4 or 5 times in 2 minutes? No one has noticed a floating blade. It's like, what is she, a fucking Jedi? I mean, and it's like, cut your throat. And it's like, right? How did that not happen? Didn't someone go, she didn't have the knife, then suddenly she did? I don't know. It's just little things like that where I kind of go, right, okay. We're back into horror movie tropes as opposed to the creeping horror thing. And I get it has to be a bit more overt, but a couple of times like that, they did a couple of times like that, and I was just like, really? Did you need to do that? Did you? Because I liked the whole thing of things like the tramadol, or whatever it is, the diazepam, suddenly just appearing on a bedside table. The sink, the bathroom sink, and stuff like that, where it's just like, is she going mad? Is she really being paranoid? Is she really being stalked? Not, ooh, look, here's a bowl of soup floating through the air. And everyone's going, what? I can't see a thing.
Look, Sir Lordy, look at that soup floating through the air. I wonder how that's happened.
That was exactly what I was thinking. The fucking Amazon Women on the Moon Invisible Man thing with, I can't remember his bloody name.
Ed Begley Jr.?
That's it. Ed Begley Jr. is standing there, stark bollock naked, and all the people around him just pretending he's invisible. Oh, you've totally changed my concept of the world around me. The pawn has moved all by itself. Yes, look. Ooh. So there was a couple of moments like that, and I kind of found myself going again, really? But yes, the main theme of coercion, abuse, gaslighting, toxic relationships, all of that stuff. I hesitate to use the word love because I don't think that's a really nice kind of stuff to talk about, but to enjoy. But I appreciated how well it was executed. It was really, really well done. But as soon as it turned into Murder Fest 101 and turned into just, he's a slasher in a Predator costume, it was just like, not so keen on that. Jim,
yes,
is there anything you would like to add? Because I feel like I've that's kind of my entire span of the movies. I really enjoyed it, but there was a couple of things that just didn't work for me. Is there anything you'd like to actually bring up? Because rather than me just try and find specific questions.
Well, not already talked about really. I watched it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm old and I forget things now.
Yes, me too. Tell me about it.
But what I picked up this time is kind of like everything he does is geared up to framing her for murder to put her into that particular box.
And
it's like, well, the first time I watched it, it's just kind of, is she crazy or something messing with her? Oh, something's messing with her. Something is going on. And then bloody hell, he escalated that quickly. But this time, knowing what his plan is, or his intended plan rather, because it doesn't quite go according to how he thinks it's going to go. Everything he does is stacking the case against her. From just emptying her portfolio to the pills to just lots of little things, but they all add up to make it credible. This is a woman who's she's left her relationship, she's having a breakdown, and she just killed her sister. No one will question it.
Yeah,
and he really sort of through his actions, he sort of pushes her into, sort of paints her into that role. And I really appreciate how well that sort of plotted out in the movie, because it's kind of like, oh, that's really good. That's I didn't expect to sort of, you did very well there. That is good scripting.
Yes,
you know what I mean, and just beautifully played. The other thing I did appreciate was the casting as well.
Yeah,
because I think in the hands of a lot of other directors, they'd have swapped the Swiss sisters around to have the younger, prettier one as the lead character rather than Elizabeth Moss.
Yes.
And I appreciate that as a kind of, I'm looking old and grouchy, but kind of, I find a problem with a lot of movies these days is they're full of impossibly good looking people who look plastic to me and are far too young.
Yeah.
Whereas Elizabeth Moss looked like a real woman. She looked like she'd been to hell and back and had been in a relationship for a long time.
Yeah.
Rather than some, like, if you cast someone younger, you kind of like, how long has people been together? You know, she looks like 12, been together 5 minutes, you know. Whereas she looked like someone who's big, you know, had lived most of her life in this guy's bubble.
Yes.
And she looks like a real person. And that gives it weight because it's kind of, horrible things can happen to real people, we still have this thing that horrible things don't happen to impossibly pretty people.
Yes. Yeah, I go along with that.
Mm.
Cool. That's a good point, actually. What about you, Dale? Anything you'd like to bring up, or
no? I think I've covered everything I wanted to say in this. I mean, it's important to mention the whole sort of toxic relationship aspect of this, and where they're getting their ideas from for it. And, So yeah, I think I've said everything I set out to say. So I'm good.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm totally cool with just calling it when there's no more stuff to say. I mean, like I said, I will just wrap up by saying again, even though I was picking holes in it a little bit, I overall did like this movie. Oddly, I don't think I'd see it again in a rush. It's a good film, but I think its power comes from not knowing which way it's going. Yeah. I think the not understanding quite where he is, where she is mentally, always being on the back foot. I think that's a good place to be when you're watching it. So being as blind as possible when you're watching it. And it makes that finale so much more satisfying. Surprise. I thought that was fucking cracking.
Yeah.
We've talked about the final.
We haven't talked about the final bit. Yes.
And that I did think that was real proper, like chef's kiss.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh God, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But also, I really like there's a moment of beautiful, real human ambiguity, not plot ambiguity, but it's it's her her best buddy, her cop buddy. You can see kind of he knows what she's done, and as a cop, he knows he shouldn't just wave this on. But as a friend and as a good man, you kind of fuck him.
Yeah. Exactly.
But you can see all this play out on his face when she had that little moment after she walks out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's one of those beautiful, kind of so well observed and so beautifully human, and so not typical Hollywood. And the fact that it's understated rather than overstated. They don't have a big discussion about it, but you know what he's thinking.
Yeah. Also, interestingly, now I'm thinking about it, it's also showing that she's using that manipulation that she's learnt from the boyfriend, from Adrian. She's learnt that intimidation and that kind of threat by implication to a friend, because she walks up to him and she just gives him that look, and he just looks down at the suit in the bag, and she goes, I don't know what he did. He just killed himself. I don't know. And you see him, obviously, as you say, Jim, he puts it all together. But then she's looking at him in a way, I think, basically says, I don't care what you're about to do, but just bear in mind what I've got in my fucking bag. There's a certain subtle level of threat, as much as there is, a sort of pathos, a kind of understanding, a kind of, you don't say anything, you're my friend. But there's also a kind of, you've seen what this does, and you know what people can do with it, and now I have it. So maybe we just go about our ways and stick to our respective stories.
There is also the fact that he felt bad about not believing her.
Yes.
And in a way, with that guilt still very much present, that's going to be that's going to be a golden pass for her to get and do what she wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go along with that. Yeah, did anyone else actually feel like she might threaten her mate? Or was that
I got the impression she was going, yes, he died on camera, didn't he? You saw that, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, I did. I mean, how many times have you done. I know I've said that to people before. Not that I've killed someone. Darren, you're revealing too much. More skeletons in this territory. Yep. So it's that Ixnay on the fucking murder
Ixnay on the suit A. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, but I thought that ending was, as you say, Jim, chef's kiss. It was just like, and surprise, and you just knew. It was so well done.
I actually wanted to see. I was like, I really hope they do a sequel to this to see where she goes next.
I'm kind of glad they didn't. I mean, after everything we've talked about the last couple of weeks, it's just like, just let things stop. The Matrix should have stopped at the first one. Let these things have a nice, interesting, if ambiguous ending, and just go, done. Thanks. We're here now. That's it. I don't need another sequel. I don't need her, because the thing is, a sequel would just turn it up to 11 stupid, or the suit would get in the hands of another evil man, or she'd go into full "I'll spit on your grave" and take. You'd have a movie of her taking out, childhood, misdemeanors and slights against her in various situations in the past or something. I just don't think you need that. I think you just leave it. It's done. Interesting. It's a predator in a predator suit, but but that's just me being aren't I clever? Right. Well, I think we'll leave it there. If anybody else has seen The Invisible Man, pun intended, then by all means send in some feedback to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com, or hit us up on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Right. Before we head over to Pimp's Corner and then finally say goodbye, Jim, I believe it is your turn to pick a movie for us for next time we return.
It is indeed. I have various options. How I looked into and found them on streaming.
Yeah.
And I looked at my big folder my big list of films to do on the Black Dog and thought, all those sound a bit grim.
Right.
However, I did see. Actually, I'm going to give you a choice of two.
Okay.
One is a movie that turned up on. I'm a sucker for these movie lists sort of articles, and I shouldn't encourage them. But you do get to find some interesting films, like it's like 10 overlooked neo noirs of the last 30 years or something.
Oh, right. Okay.
And another one is a bit of a wild card. It just literally popped up on my Facebook while we're recording.
Okay.
Which is a film from Scandinavia, which is a Black Dog favourite genre. It's a revenge thriller.
Okay.
But set in historical times.
Ooh.
So.
Okay.
So do you fancy a 90s neo-noir, or do you want to take a chance on a Swedish historical revenge thriller?
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, Dal, but Swedish historical revenge thriller sounds interesting. What do you think? Dal? And he's gone. Right. Well, it's down to me then. Well, in which case, you know what? Fuck it. Do the Swedish revenge thriller then. Let's see where we end up.
It's a movie on Amazon Prime. It was just come out this year.
Yeah.
And it has the amazing title, Stockholm Bloodbath.
What?
I love it when they get direct.
Yep. Starring Sophie Cookson, Albert August, Emily Beecham, and Klaus Bang.
Klaus Bang. Oh, my God.
Who played a very good Dracula a few years ago.
He did.
Fuck me. I'm doing the deep hole thing. I want my name to be Klaus Bang.
Yeah.
Stockholm Bloodbath.
Yeah. I'll give you the write-up as provided by Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
A ruthless political struggle between Sweden and Denmark turns bloody under the tyranny of the mad king Christian II. Caught up in this deadly war, two sisters seek revenge on the men who brutally murdered their family.
Right. Okay. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do this. Let's do this thing. Yeah. I don't know what to say about that. Darren, have you seen this film before?
Absolutely not.
That's
sounds great though.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. Okay, Jim, I take it you haven't seen this
No,
either.
I was unaware of its existence until about half an hour ago.
Okay.
And I thought, well, now.
Okay.
You can't walk past a title like that.
No, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It's not easily ignorable, is it? Stockholm Bloodbath. I mean, wow. I mean, go for it. I wholeheartedly support this endeavor into finding crazy ass fucking movies. Let's do it. Let's do this shit.
Yeah, let's find some more movies with real direct to the does what it says on the tin titles, like Man with a Gun or Bastard,
Hobo with a Shotgun, that sort of thing. Yeah,
let's do it.
The Greasy Strangler. Okay, Save Image has right. Stockholm Bloodbath. Well, yeah, we've got a fortnight to watch it because we're not back next week. Because I'm off ferrying with various kids around various parts of the country. So yeah, okay. Well, when we come back in a fortnight's time, which will be the 23rd of June, we'll be back for Stockholm Bloodbath. So, yes. I mean, yes. I've got nothing else to say on that apart from yes. I'll tell you what would be really funny if it turns out that bloody Elton's actually seen it.
Well, anything is possible in this timeline.
That would be the final moment where you go, okay, we've gone through the looking glass, people. What the fuck?
Yep.
So okay then, right. Well, let's see how that plays out. We'll be back in a fortnight for that. So, Jim, Pimp's Corner, what's happening over at hypnagoria.com?
Why am I doing this? Yes, this week I'm releasing a story by the great M.R. James, The Haunted Doll's House.
Right.
And meanwhile, on my main show, ironically enough, I've been talking about not one but two Invisible Men.
Right.
And the episode just dropped in part of the One Season Wonders season. Yeah. I've been looking at the David McCallum Invisible Man series.
Yes.
And in the episode, which will come out week after next, I'm talking about the series that NBC replaced it with because they thought doing an Invisible Man series was costing too much. So they did another Invisible Man series called The Gemini Man.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I remember that.
I attempt to make sense of this fucking nonsense.
It's the geezer with the watch.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
You honestly think, I think the most expensive thing in the David McCallum Invisible Man was the green screen suit he had to wear because he was always just a floating head.
Yes, yeah. That was too much, so he went for a cheaper digital watch.
Nice.
And a man in double denim.
Double
the Canadian
denim.
Tuxedo.
Nice.
Tell me you're the early 80s, late 70s without telling me you're the early 80s, late 70s.
Yeah, the status quo Bryan Adams ensemble. Brilliant. Okay, well, fine. And that's over at hypnagoria.com, yeah?
It is indeed.
Lovely. There is probably stuff going on over at Rogue 2 Media. My guess is it's cars going around in circles because there's a lot of that going on at the moment. I've seen at least 3 different things with cars going around in circles on various channels, mainly Channel 4. So head over to Rogue 2 Media and check out anything that's going on over there. Elton's going around in circles in a car. And that's it. nothing else from me, and I'm guessing nothing else from you, Dal.
Yeah, nothing at all.
There we go. So we will see you, like I say, in a fortnight's time when we return for a Stockholm bloodbath, which is not a euphemism; it's actually a film. So we'll see you then. Until then, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren, and thank you all for listening. And we'll see you all next time. Till then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I won't do Elton's voice. I'll just say bye.
Latest bastards.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
I already came for a kebab.